Aloha, my name's Timory from Timory McDonald Photography, and today I'd like to give you some tips on how to pick the best Kauai photographer. Most people are coming from relatively far away, and there's a lot of good photographers to choose from here on Kauai, so how do you pick the one that fits your needs best? First of all, obviously look at the price, because you might love their photography, but if they're out of your price range, then it's going to overall stress out your wedding budget and experience. So find someone that fits within your price range. Then, beyond that, which is rather obvious, you want to find somebody who's great with details. So can they look at you and scan you and think like you and go, will she like this photo? Will he like this photo? And you have to know a little bit about a person. So you have to find out if they're adventurous and they want to climb to the top of a mountain. Well, they're not going to like photos that are so posed and boring, and vice versa. If somebody isn't so adventurous, then they're not going to want to climb on top of a log. They're going to feel uncomfortable. You also want to find somebody that's great with details just physically about, like, is a bra strap showing or is hair out of place, because something as little as somebody's necklace has turned a little bit and you're taking a lot of pictures and you go in for a close-up and it's a fabulous picture and it's one of those ones you want to blow up to super large and put on your wall. But if the clasp is out of place, some people are going to notice that later on, especially if the picture's big and close up. So you want someone who naturally can look at a scene and scan someone from the top hair that might be out of place down to their feet and set things up to take a fabulous picture so that they don't have to be fixed or photoshopped later, which could look strange. You also want somebody just generally limber and willing to go that extra mile, which might mean hiking up to the top of the cliffs at Shipwrecks Beach, or it might mean going out of their way at any other beach to find that shot that's fabulous, that shows this expansive beauty of Kauai, because we have a lot of nature here and not all of it's just sitting right where your wedding site is. So you want someone who's really willing and able to do that. You also want somebody that has flexibility in their time and their schedule. So for example, when I have a wedding on, most of the time the wedding happens when and where it's supposed to happen, but I keep myself flexible enough to know, you know what, if there's a little bit of a rainstorm on the North Shore where the wedding was planned, we may need to move either the time or the location to a different part of the island where it's hot and sunny. So somebody who's aware of that and is willing to put weddings first, as well as has that flexibility in their time. Having some props is also a nice idea. For example, I travel around with two very large wedding umbrellas. They're each about this big. And should there be a little bit of a shower, or most of the time they never really get used, but you know, whatever that is, whether it's a possibility of rain or shower, just knowing that they're there and they're white and they're bridal umbrellas, it's nice to have somebody who can bring some things along with them like that. And they're good props for taking pictures, or, you know, for example, you could also use champagne glasses to have a cider toast. Those make great props. So there's all sorts of things that a person could bring, just even little squeaky toys to get a child's attention. Things like that could really help make a photo shoot good. And in the nature of having kids, you also want someone who's willing to go that extra mile to get down in the sand and get sandy and dirty, you know, making crazy kid noises to get that whiny, you know, child to smile and wanted to have their picture taken. And that takes a lot of energy. And I can tell you, as a mother of small kids, you're hot and sweaty as a photographer when you're done. But that's why you want these people who have the flexibility and that are limber and willing to go that extra mile to do what it takes to get a good shot. And finally, you want someone who's really well organized. So for example, when I have a larger wedding or people have a lot of guests there, I ask people if they're willing to make a list of the shots that they want. And one really good tip to get some extra photos in your photography time is to have someone who knows all the people on your list stand and be in charge. So for example, I'm willing to ask your family members to come and follow a list myself, but if I have someone who knows who Uncle Bob and Aunt Sue is and I don't have to figure it out, I can be taking more pictures more efficiently while somebody else helps organize the people in groups so that I can take the pictures. But beyond organizing the people, there's all sorts of things to keep well organized, from your photo equipment as a photographer to the details of the wedding. And I think that a lot of people are good at doing that, and you want to find somebody who is definitely well organized and can get those details. So a little bit about myself. I feel like I have the most reasonable prices that I've seen for the amount of photo time that I offer, and in addition to it, the amount of fully edited photos that I give on my DVD. I notice that a lot of people have a limited amount of photos, where on my DVD of all images, I obviously get rid of the ones that are just, the bad shots where somebody looks silly, but it's all the rest of the images, and I fully edit all of them. So that's something, in my opinion, that's important to look for is, are you getting all of the images, or are you only getting 20, 30, 40 of them? So depending on your desire of what you want, I think it's good to have all of the photos. Also, another thing is, with me, you're getting much more than just a photographer. So I might add this in at the end. What else does the person you're looking to hire bring to the table? So for example, I bring to the table ability to be able to manage people really well, and I'm good with kids. A lot of people have different qualities. For me, since I own a wedding coordination company, there's a lot of details of weddings that, even though I might just be there as the photographer, I show up with my emergency wedding kit that has all sorts of things in it, and the knowledge of many years on Kauai planning weddings. So whatever that thing is that pops up at the last second that nobody expected, it's generally within my knowledge realm of, oh, I know who to call about that, or I've been in this situation before. So for me, that's easy to kind of offer for free wedding tips, wedding coordination as just a photographer, because I've been doing it for so many years. But in the end, photography is my passion. That's what I really want to be doing, and that's what I love to show up to do. And I'm happy to be just the photographer as well. So if you're interested, we'd love to give you more information and details. Please contact us, and thanks for listening. Aloha.